This is Theory Time, Book 6, Ear Training number 4. For the first question, you're going to hear intervals of 2, 5, and 7. Please write in just the number 2, 5, or 7 based upon what you hear. Here we go, starting with A. B. C. D. E. And F. Okay, how did you do? Let's go ahead and check your answers. For A, I played second. Should have written it 2. For B, I played 7. For C, I played 5. For D, I played 5 again. For E, I played 7. And for F, I played. Great. Hope you did okay on those. Moving along to question number 2, you're going to hear a triad. It's either going to be a major triad or a minor triad. Your job is to tell me which one. You could write M-A-J for major and M-I-N for minor. Capitals and lowercase, don't forget. Or you could just simply write a lowercase m or a capital M. Just make sure we can tell the difference, okay? So here we go. Is this triad major or minor? Number 2. Number 3. And number 4. Okay, let's check your answers and see how you did. For number 1, I played major. Number 2, minor. Major. Number 3, yes, major. And number 4, minor. Okay, moving along to question number 3. Question number 3 is rhythmic dictation. It is your job to fill in the missing 3 measures. I see there are no bar lines, so go ahead and write in 2 bar lines so that you have 4 total measures. The best thing to do as you hear this the very first time is to go along with your pencil, and every time you hear me play a note, you draw a stem, or think of it like a tally mark right on the staff, okay? Don't worry about the note heads. You can go in and fill in those details later. Your first priority is to get down how many notes are actually in the measure, and that is the quickest way, because every time you hear something, you just make a line, okay? The other trick is that if you get completely stuck and stumped in a measure and you hear me go to the next measure, go with me. Take your pencil, go to the next measure, beat 1, so that you can hear each time every single measure. Often the last measure is something simple, and if you get stuck on measure 2, you never even hear the 4th measure every single time, okay? So that's very important. Just jump. You're gonna get to hear it multiple times. Don't get stuck and just stop listening. All right, so here we go. I'm starting with measure number 1, 4 beats per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you hear it all? Okay, let's go back and do it again. Starting with measure number 1, get your pencil ready. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you need time to finish filling in the details, hit pause. If you need to hear it again, hit rewind. I'm going to give you the answers now. For measure number 2, I played this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2/8, right? And then 2, 3, that's a half note. 4, quarter note. So measure 2, 2/8, half note, quarter note. Measure 3, I played. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. That was easy. A dotted half note, right? 3 beats. And then 4 and was 2 eighth notes. Don't forget to beam them at the top. For the 4th measure, I played 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1 and 2 eighth notes again, right? 2, 3, a half note followed by 4, a quarter note. Did anybody catch that? That was the same rhythm as measure number 2. Always, always, always be looking for repeating patterns. Okay, moving along to melodic dictation, question number 4. Now is your job to fill in not only the rhythm, but also the melody. So for this one, on the first time that you hear, we recommend that you go through and you listen to the melody as it goes up and down and notate that with either little note heads, like little circles, just whole note circles, or little slash marks, so you can kind of just get the gist. Listen for steps and skips if you can, but you're mostly trying to get, does it go up or down? So you get the general shape of the melody, and then upon subsequent hearings, you can go in and fill in more of the details, all right? So here we go. We're starting with the first measure. Get your pencil and follow along. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How did you do? Did you remember to jump to measure 3 with me when I went to measure number 3 so that you heard measure number 4? I hope you remember that. It's a very important little trick. Here it is again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. If you need to hear it multiple times, go ahead, stop here and rewind. I'm going to give you the answers now. We have discussed in previous levels this concept of pattern and sequence. When you're given a specific pattern of notes in a measure, maybe one full measure, and then that exact pattern of notes is repeated, but on a different pitch in subsequent measures. You had that basically in the first 2 measures of this. So listen to measure number 1, which went 1, 2, 3, 4. Now compare that with measure number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there weren't 2 quarter notes for 3, 4, but the pitches were a sequence of measure number 1. So then once you know it's exactly the same ups and downs and steps and skips as the first measure, the only tricky thing is to figure out what the first note was, right? So the last note in measure number 1 was an E. The first note in measure number 2 was that. Yes, a step. So now you know the first note is an F. And here it is again. Okay, so F, E, F, G, A, 2. That A was a half note as we discussed. And the first 4 notes, F, E, F, G, those are eighths. Don't forget to beam them. Then the last note in measure number 3 was an E. The first note in measure number 4 for you to draw was this. Again, just a step, right? So now you know the first note in measure number 4 was D. Then you had this was maybe the only tricky thing in this whole example, was to find out and figure out what is that second note. It went like this. Now they always end on the tonic, so you know the last note, you know the first note, so now you have to figure out, what is that interval? Can you hear it? It's a fourth, right? Here comes the bride. So a fourth up from D would be G, or so if you do solfege, down to the do, it's the C. Okay, good job.